This is Hannibal here from the HannibalTV.com with a daily wrestling news update, and there's a lot of wrestling news today. I'll get right into it. Sorry to report that Don Kernodle, who was a mainstay in the Mid-Atlantic territory, passed away at the age of 71 years old on Monday. According to Dave Meltzer, his death was self-inflicted, but there's no further details on exactly what happened. According to some other reports I read, he'd had numerous health issues over the past several years. Being from Canada, I'm not really that familiar with him. I do know he was in a very successful tag team with Sergeant Slaughter that had some great crowds in the early 80s, but also he was before my time as well, as in a different territory. But sorry to hear about his passing. WWE's pay-per-view on Sunday, Backlash, was the first time in the history of WWE that one of their pay-per-views failed to crack the top 20 in Google searches. And the number 20 search on Sunday on Google was only 100,000 searches. So this would indicate, according to the Wrestling Observer, that this was the lowest interest of any pay-per-view in the company's history, with the exception of possibly some overseas shows they've done in like the UK and Saudi Arabia that didn't really get much mainstream interest. Speaking of that pay-per-view, the New York Post called the match that The Miz was involved with the Zombies one of the saddest moments in WWE history. I didn't even want to watch it, but one of the saddest moments in history to me was about a year ago when they had that match in WWE where they ended up in a dumpster. Then there was suddenly a giant squid in the dumpster, and then the camera just faded out, and there was never any mention of the squid again. Herb Simmons has a comment on here about Don Kernodle being a great worker and was underestimated at times. Alan Kesselman says what Raw was pretty awful. I'll continue with the news though. According to the Matt Men's podcast, WWE is going to start to do tapings in front of fans again for the July 16th SmackDown. There's also a Money in the Bank pay-per-view that weekend. And apparently there's going to be a new set. Obviously, they're not going to be using the Thunderdome. And they're probably not going to go back to the pre-COVID set. So, yes, you can expect a new set. WWE hasn't formally announced its return to touring yet. But that announcement is expected shortly because AEW is returning to touring in Texas and Florida in July as well. And they're actually having more fans at their Double or Nothing pay-per-view this month than they've had since the pandemic. They've sold about 3,000 tickets for their Double or Nothing pay-per-view that's taking place later this month. And the pre-sales for the Texas and Miami Dynamite tapings are pretty good. The Saudi Arabia Ministry of Sports is going to be returning to events with fans, so that should indicate the WWE will probably be coming back soon. There was a Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua fight announced for Saudi Arabia. However, this might not happen now because Deontay Wilder had a clause in his contract for an automatic rematch. So they're either going to have to pay him a large sum of money to waive that rematch right, or that fight's not going to happen. And I just keep seeing all this stuff about fans returning, and here in Ontario, Canada, we're on full lockdown, the highest lockdown they've ever had until at least June 2nd. They keep pushing it back further and further, but it's really sad how far behind we are here. This horrible guy we have running the province of Ontario, Doug Ford, has actually said on the record he would like to close down the entire Toronto airport. So, real idiots we have running the country here in Canada. Very far behind. Fit Finlay said that his son, who is a New Japan wrestler, has COVID. And some good news for the Hannibal TV fans. There is a custom match that was recorded yesterday with Selena De La Renta versus Amber Nova. And that match will be airing on the Hannibal TV by the end of the week. And by the way, we do have a merchandise site where you can get these very comfortable hoodies and other Great North Wrestling and the Hannibal TV merchandise gear. The link is in the description, or you can go to thehannibaltv.com and follow the links there. Everyone in Texas and everywhere else, thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching the Hannibal TV. Please like this video if you enjoyed it, and click the subscribe button to not miss any of our latest shoot interviews, match videos, or news updates. Support us on patreon.com for $1.99 a month.